Welcome to the Dell EMC Energy Power Chat podcast series, where you hear from the experts about energy IT transformation. Hello everyone, Bruce Hall here, and welcome to another Dell EMC Energy Power Chat. And today we're going to talk about Connected Digital Operations, or CDO. Our guest is Mr. Chris Lench, who's our Connected Digital Operations Architect. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm great, Bruce. Thanks for having me.
Could we start with a little bit of your background, please?
Sure. Again, my name's Chris Lench. I work in the global energy program. I've been doing oil and gas about 31 years. I actually started initially with a company called Amoco Production Company, doing enterprise data architecture. And then for the last 15 years, I've been working more around what is called digital oil field. And digital oil field is all about bringing real-time data from the edge and relevant time data from the databases together with a lot of first principle models in order to create integrated workflows around efficiencies. And I did that with SAIC and with Halliburton Landmark. And then for the last 5 years, I've been working in the energy program, helping push this out to the market.
So Chris, let's start at the beginning. How would you define CDO?
CDO, Connected Digital Operations, is a nexus between three key areas. Number one is the Dell 4 pillars of transformation, namely IT, digital, security, and workforce. The second area that we bring in is this whole cloud native architecture, looking at on-prem versus off-prem, and of course, a highly hybrid model. And the third thing is around the whole industrial Internet of Things, what this means and how we can use all these devices and sensors from a business perspective. For us today, I am going to focus more around the industrial IoT piece and how specifically we've been using this to optimize and improve efficiencies in energy operations.
What are the key issues and challenges that CDO addresses?
When you look at it again, more from a field operations or operations as it relates to energy, some of the key issues and challenges that they have is, number one, a lot of these energy companies already have a large implementation of IoT. We just didn't call it IoT. We called it SCADA and automation. A lot of the things we're trying to do around CDO is actually create more value at the edge by providing them a few basic things. The first thing is they want to capture stranded data. So I've got all the stranded data. How can I quickly maybe put a gateway to capture what's already out there, but it's not coming in? The second thing is we're finding people want to increase the velocity of the data. So for example, you may have a pump sensor and it's coming in once every 15 minutes. They would much rather have that data come in like once every 10 seconds or once every minute, because that higher granularity of data provides them a lot more information in terms of the things we usually do around CDO, like predictive maintenance and such. The third thing is, how do I put analytics or compute as close to the edge as possible so I don't have to bring all this data in? Can I do analytics? Can I manage that data? Can I not spend more money on backhaul costs and do more at the edge? And that seems to be exploding much, much more right now. And the last thing is what I call non-typical data types. In the field, how can you do things like audio or video or thermographic imagings to generate analytics on these non-typical data type and actually use it to create more value for the customers? So they're kind of the four major areas that we're using from a technical and from a data access perspective from the edge to create more value for our customers.
So I'm hearing stranded data, increasing the velocity of data, pushing more analytics to the edge, and handling non-typical data that we might not have handled before. Once you address those four areas, how does that translate into business value for our customers?
I mean, at the end of the day, if anyone knows me, I'm all about business. When I talk to customers, I talk internally. I said, look, technology is an enabler. It's about enabling business value. It's creating more business opportunities. So what we see on this is, number one, more uptime. So how do we look at your current downtime issues, whether it's pumps or whatever, and how do we start using this data in better ways to reduce the downtime? Other things is just around more productivity from an individual's point of view. So for example, if you have an oil field of 1,000 wells, can you use this technology to make an engineer be able to manage maybe 100 wells while right now he's doing 50 wells? So basically increasing that productivity by 100% for that one individual. And of course, how we can do more on efficiencies. And efficiencies, when I talk about productivity versus efficiencies, productivity is more individual, efficiencies is more workflow. So how do we enable collaboration? How do we level transparency and visualization of the data? How do we enable automated utilization of the data to improve efficiencies within the overall workflow? And of course, when you look at anyone, especially like an oil field, it's all about production. And we say production, it's like, can I produce at higher rates? Can I impact the ultimate recovery of the hydrocarbons in those wells? So those are the four areas where we are seeing the most value being generated and that we really try to focus on when we're implementing connected digital operations in energy operations.
Chris, when we think about CDO from edge to core to cloud, how would you characterize Dell's strategy for CDO and what products and services support that strategy?
That's a really great question. Data that's collected from the edge needs to come back to the core or cloud environment to create even more value from it. So for example, if you want to do artificial intelligence or deep learning, you've got to be able to capture specific information across multiple assets. You can't create a deep learning algorithm off of one pump. You've got to have maybe 100 pumps within the same basic operating environments. So for us, we capture the stuff from the edge, use it in real time, maybe intelligent learning or just a one pane of glass where people can see exactly what's going on in real time with their data. But then we also bring it into the core or cloud environment to do that next level of analytics. And then we create maybe a scoring model and push it back to the edge, as we talked about earlier. So there's analytics and real-time maintenance can be run on that specific machine in the context of machine learning. So when we're looking at that from a product's point of view, Dell has at the edge not only the gateways, our 3000 and 5000 series that can capture and run analytics, but we've also got for all the field workers our rugged tablets, our rugged PCs, so they can easily understand what's going on and see what's going on in the field through these ruggedized devices as they're driving around their trucks. Secondly, at the core, we've got all of our different infrastructure around hyperconverged or even XR2 power edge servers anyway and within the distributed architecture to create whatever value the customer needs. And, when I talk about CDO, one key point is CDO is not a 1, 2, 3 stop thing. It's really dependent on the customers. It really is about a highly distributed architecture enablement. So if you need stuff at the edge around the gateways, you need maybe multiple intermediate servers and maybe some level of core for doing large analytics and then bringing it up and back forth through a cloud to enable higher levels of connectivity and higher levels of intercommunication. That's exactly what we're talking about CDO. Our job is to provide customers with ever distributed architecture that's going to enable them to be successful. And quite frankly, we're the only company that can do that. We're the only company that has complete edge core cloud capabilities around compute, around storage, around virtualization, and around security. And unstructured data storage and other managements, we're the only company that can do that. And quite frankly, we're quite proud of that.